It's being called the trad wife movement. Trad, being short for traditional, describes women who gravitate toward keeping house, raising kids, and making meals.
It just depends how you look at it, but I see it as being an amazing thing, and it's the most exciting role that I've ever had.
Gretchen Adler is one of the most famous trad wives on social media, showcasing made-from-scratch recipes and teaching homemaker principles to her hundreds of thousands of followers.
Our number one most precious asset is our health, so it's something I prioritize.
It's a lifestyle she was introduced to at a young age. Having grown up on a farm, Gretchen came home to meals sourced from natural ingredients, something she too wanted to pass on to her children.
At 10:15 a.m., I prepared a heritage breed whole chicken that had been pasture-raised and slaughtered on my parents' farm.
And while being a trad wife doesn't have to mean all or nothing, for Gretchen, it in part means staying away from ultra-processed foods. How have your kids responded to this kind of lifestyle?
My kids love it. I mean, it's very normal for them. It's second nature. Ever since they were babies, I've been feeding them the same way that I eat. There's never been kids' foods and adult foods. So everything that I eat and that I make, they're eating, and they think it's very normal. And of course, I'm constantly letting them know why we eat the way that we eat, and to recognize foods that are not foods, to recognize that ultra-processed snacks are not things that we should be eating because they're made with toxic ingredients and chemicals that are just really bad for our health. So they're really happy with everything that I'm making for them.
If there was one processed food you just wish could automatically be healthy, what would it be?
See, every food that you see in like a processed snack or a processed meal, everything that you see and that you like, you can make it yourself. And I show the kids that they can make it too. So it's like my daughter, she wanted to know what a Milano was because my husband's been talking about these Milano cookies that he loves. And so I was like, let's make them. And she made them. And I posted a video yesterday with her making Milanos, and you can watch it. It's amazing to see that she can actually do it herself and eat what she wants.
Next, I added my cookie dough into a piping bag to create the Ovo Milano cookies.
But as with any trend on social media, Gretchen's lifestyle has garnered mixed reviews. What kind of feedback, positive or negative, have you seen in response to the recent trad wife movement?
Well, there's a huge growing group of women who are embracing the trad wife and who want to get back into their homes. We were taught that we should leave the home and we should go out into the workplace, and that's really the most important thing, is like the girl boss mentality, making money, and the children weren't as important, and like being there in the home for them and cooking healthy meals, that was sort of looked as like a lower, embarrassing thing to do, so we didn't do it. And so there's a huge group of women that want to get back into their homes and really make these healthy meals and make sure that they have strong, healthy, educated children and just be that role model for them. And but there is also another group of people who see it as confinement, and you really don't have any independence in your life anymore, and you're stuck in the home, you're stuck in the kitchen, you can't really do anything else in your life. And it's just not like that at all. You can have as much freedom and independence as you want.
What's more, Gretchen feels the cultural shift we've seen today has contributed to other societal issues.
When you don't have the parent figures and the mother figure in the home, and you have somebody else raising the children, there's a huge disconnect when you don't have these children, these growing children, eating nutritious, healthy, home-cooked meals, and they're living off of processed foods, chemicals, food dyes. They have learning disorders, they have behavioral problems, and a lot of young people are very sick. They even have cancer, chronic disease, infertility. So it's definitely all related. I would say a huge majority is related to the fact that there wasn't a mother in the home making these meals and making sure that these children were healthy. And we do for sure need to focus on it again, and it needs to be just mainstream so that we can all regain our health.
But this goal begs the question, how? How do you make the time, find the energy, commit to life change? To that, Gretchen says it doesn't take a lot. To the working or single or even stay-at-home mom who thinks, I just can't do this, how do you suggest they approach this topic?
My best advice is to get a crock pot. And, crock pot, you can plug it into the wall. You can put a large piece of meat in there, like a whole chicken. You can put a big piece of slow cooking meat, like a beef roast in there. And you just let it cook. You put some salt, maybe some water in there, some pepper. You let it cook all day long. You don't have to do anything. You literally just put the items in, it cooks, and 8 hours later, dinner's ready. You have leftovers, so then you can have some of this food for the next day. But it doesn't have, you don't have to spend a lot of time in the kitchen, but just get started. Focus on your quality proteins, because we all need a lot of protein, much more than we're probably getting. And start there.
Beautiful. Well, again, Gretchen, we know you inspire so many women. Last question here, though. Again, we know that you're putting so much great content out there, encouraging other women to start small, hopefully, work up to life change. Are there days, though, when you need encouragement? How do you stay focused?
See, when I get in a mood where I'm like, I don't know what I should do, like I don't know where I'm going, which doesn't happen very often. But when it does, I know that I just need to sit back and just not really think about anything, because it's just too much, and then I do my exercise, I go out and walk. I just sort of take a day for myself, let myself regenerate. I sleep, I take a nap if I need it, and just rest. And then it's the next day I wake up and I'm a whole new person. So I think, definitely as a mother with children and everything that's going on, it's a lot and it can get to you sometimes. So it's important to focus on yourself too and give yourself that self-care. And you should give yourself self-care every day. You shouldn't let it all build up and then you're I just can't do this anymore.
And of course, taking easy, steady steps toward those overarching goals can lead to significant, positive life change. How do you feel, both physically and mentally, really having adopted this kind of lifestyle?
I feel incredible, best I've felt ever in my entire life. I've always been interested in what I was eating since I was in high school, really. But for a long time, I viewed food as sort of the enemy. You know what I mean? So I really tried not to eat very much, but then I went through a phase where I was vegan and plant-based and thought these were good things for your health, but realized after adopting this more of an ancestral diet, just immediately, I just knew in my gut that this is the right thing. This is the way we should be eating. This is the way we've eaten for thousands of years. It's a traditional way of eating. And yeah, I just have a lot of energy. I feel really good. My brain's on fire. I feel like I can accomplish whatever I want in my life. And yeah, what more could you want, Very happy.